Good morning. I'm Tim Worman. I'm the Director of Product Management for Stellar Industries. I'm here today to talk to you about our 2025 model year TMAX Series mechanics truck. What we've done this year to enhance our already market-leading product really brings features to the operator that they're going to see gives efficiency in their jobs. From adjusting shelves to how we locate various options, up to and including our new HPS system, where you can operate this truck without the use of the prime mover being the chassis. We try to take into account everything that keeps uptime forefront of everybody's mind, because these trucks are meant to keep equipment running. If this truck is down, that equipment's not being serviced, you're not generating revenue. So we want to bring features to the product that makes it efficient for an operator to do his job, that he can do it every day and do it with confidence. One of the things we've done with our product offering is we've moved away from steel mechanics trucks as a whole, meaning that the entire package is not steel anymore. We do what we like to call a hybrid, where the floor, the crane box, and the bumper are all steel where you need the structure. The side packs are all of aluminum. What does that gain? More payload and corrosion resistance. But it also allows us some new technologies to be able to install certain things in the compartments. Here at Stellar Industries, we're always talking about innovation. Innovation isn't always about the product. It could be about the process. How do we get it through the shop more efficient? How do we reduce our lead times and still bring a quality product to the market? And some of the things that we've done with this model year will actually enhance that, and we'll take a look at that here in a moment in the compartment. We'll go through this truck, we'll talk about certain things within the package, and then just show some things, and then we'll operate the crane a little bit, and you can see how it works with the HPS. And after that, if you have additional questions with it, you can also visit stellarindustries.com for more information on it. But I like to start at the front of the truck, right at the compartment as you get out. Front compartment is where a lot of tools are at, and then we'll walk around the truck and talk about different things. So here in this street side vertical compartment, you're going to find primary storage. This one happens to be set up with our pull handle drawer sets. Our new pull handle drawer sets were introduced in 2024. Ease of operation with that same simple latch. Our drawer sets are all designed with 500-pound capacity slides, and they're removable, meaning that I don't have to release the slide. I can just pick up the drawer and remove it if I need to, and it drops back in place and then slides very easily. The pull handle is something that we looked at to make it easier for an operator as he's got his hands full of tools. How do I easily operate? Well, when I'm up here, it's very simple to grab it. If I reach down here, this isn't very comfortable, so I can lift it from above and open. So it's a dual action, operate it from below or above, individually locked. It operates so simply that even with it empty, I can activate it with my pinky. You walk up here with tools, and you have to do that. It opens very simple. But the 500-pound slides is our standard offering, again removable, and comes in any array of what you can think of for what you want for a configuration. We have our standard offering, but we do custom configurations all the time. One of the things we did for the 2025 model year is our shelf standards are now infinitely adjustable shelf standards. What does that mean? It means that on these rail systems in here, this is where I am mounting the shelves to. And that shelf then can slide up and down, and you can position it wherever you want, tighten it up, it clamps into place. This is something the market's been asking for a long time. We really did a lot of research to be able to provide it in a way that fits what our brand product is, and we believe we've accomplished it with this. The other thing it allows is a new way to install our inverters. So this inverter a lot of times would be mounted on the back wall, would be mounted to the front wall, would be mounted down here. Well, with this rail system, now we just add these mounting rails with a plate, and we mount it, and then we slide it up and tighten it into place. That way it's protected. It's up in an area that typically doesn't have anything impeding it for storage, and it just makes it cleaner. Now I have all this room with this power strip that I can put all my battery chargers up here, and I can plug it in, and now I'm charging on my batteries for my cordless tools. This too also allows it to be in different compartments by the rail size. It can be mounted horizontal, mounted vertical, but this is our standard and can go in multiple compartments. By introducing something like this, continues to enhance how a mechanic can optimize his own truck to his own needs for what he likes to do out of it. That flexibility is huge. You're not pigeonholing them into one specific application. So aluminum doors, aluminum side packs, very sound doors. They don't bend, they don't blow in the wind and flex. 3-point latches for sealing. I would love to sit here and tell you that these are watertight. I will tell you they're environmentally resistant, and we do everything we can to mitigate dirt and water out of it. Most mechanic trucks come with some sort of air compressor. We build our own air compressors also. This happens to be our tried and true 40P, 40 CFM, 100 PSI, reciprocating air compressor. It's got an air reservoir underneath the chassis, mounted to the frame. This does everything you really need to do out of a mechanic's truck efficiently every day, and it is just bulletproof. As we move down the truck, this is where we talk about the HPS. This hybrid power source is something that allows you to operate 100% emission free on the job site. So there's a lot of range anxiety with various different vehicles with EV. You think about a mechanic, he drives 2 hours, works for 8, has to come home. Well, on an EV, just by nature of them, they don't have the range to do that. So we wanted to provide a solution that you can use the prime mover to get to the job site and then work all day without any emission, and this hybrid power source does that. What it is, it's a battery pack, energy packs, lithium ion technology that's driving an electric motor with a hydraulic pump. So you get exact hydraulic operation as if you were sitting on the cab chassis off a PTO pump. No interruption of performance, and actually by doing it with electricity, you're actually more efficient because you don't have a lot of the line losses and parasitic losses that you have with a traditional hydraulic system on the transmission. So this will come in various sizes. This happens to be a 4 energy pack, which gives you about 13.5 kilowatt hours of power, enough power to probably work all day without a charge. But let's say that you do run low on charge. There's a couple ways you can charge this. One, there's shore power plug up here that you can plug it into shore power. If it's completely dead, and when I say completely dead, there's still about 10% charge, but it shuts itself off to protect it. It takes about 7 hours to fully charge overnight. In the morning, you're ready to go. If you're at the job site and you need some additional charge, you turn the truck on. It charges from the truck alternator with an inverter in it that converts that to the power it needs, inputting about 50 amps of input charge, and that way you can keep working and still charge on the job site. If you don't want to run the truck on the job site, you could always plug a generator into it, and a generator will charge it also, just like you were charging it in your shop. As we go down, each compartment has various options. Again, here we have some drawer sets on the horizontal for your longer tools. You can customize storage on a mechanic's truck any way you see fit, whether it's drawer sets, shelving, bolt bins, any litany of options for that. Here's a bolt bin setup. We have options for steel and aluminum bolt bins. A lot are going to the aluminum for additional payload capabilities. Here's one of the adjustable shelves that mounted on the rails, and you can adjust that to where you need to fit. And then again, like I say, a lot of personal customization with the options we provide. Here at Stellar Industries, we provide most of this package. We manufacture in our facilities. The body, the crane, the compressor, the accessories, whether it's shelves, drawer set, bolt bins, air compressor, all of that, we manufacture here at Stellar Industries. So it's a one-stop shop. As we come around the truck, now here's where you're getting into an operator's office. We offer 21-inch and 30-inch workbenches, steps that bounce out of the way, options like plugs at the back for power, like if you're using a grinder or something of that nature, the tailgates, E-track as an option for storage inside to hold it down. The front, you see the reservoir. Below that is where the HPS pump system is at. It's mounted below there because we're gravity feeding the suction side of the pump right from that and minimizing the amount of hose and distance that has to flow. We come around, we'll come back to this corner in a moment. On the right front is typically where you're going to find your oxyacetylene setup. So most mechanics trucks are set up with And what that venting is for is if you have a gas leak on one of the tanks, say one of the valves is leaking or something like that, that allows it to vent out so you're not capturing the gas within the compartment. And then you have options for shelving and small tool storage, hose storage, and then your bottles clamped to here to hold them in place. So it's a way to make sure you have onboard cutting needs and to vent out any gases that might escape. Now, as we come back here, we're going to come to the crane compartment. Crane compartment is really the office, if you will. This is where a lot of control systems sit. In this particular one, here's where we have the crane remote docking station. When that crane remote's in the docking station, it does charge it. And we also have the control panel in here for the HPS. I'm going to remove that so you can see it. But here's our control panel for the HPS that allows us to do different things. I can turn it on and off. I can go hydraulic, electric. It's going to come up. Emergency stop. Let's say something happens. I hit that E-stop, shuts the hydraulics off. So like if a hose breaks, I'm not dumping all the oil on the ground. And then you have your FRL for your filter regulator, lubricator for your air system, your hydraulics, and your stabilizer system. And what I'm going to show here is how easy it is for this to operate. I'm going to deploy the stabilizers. The way our system is set up, we have some interlocks in it. You have to have the parking brake set and you have to have the key on. That just provides the energy, and by having the parking brake set, energizes everything behind it, showing that it's in a stationary mode to make sure that you have all the parameters that allow you to run the hydraulic. So here I'm going to deploy the stabilizers. Normally in this environment on a traditional truck, you would hear the diesel engine running. You don't hear that. Right now what you're hearing is the hydraulics flowing through the lines coming off of the motor on the electric motor. And so here, it's quiet operation. What I'm doing here is I was leveling the truck. You always want to operate. When you're operating a crane truck, you want to make sure the whole unit is level. We're on fairly level ground here, but there's still, you can't see it, but it will always be uneven. Now with our rated remote, this is our CDT Pro. I can link it and I go into, I'm now in a mode where it tells me how much I can lift. So as I walk away from the truck, it's going to change. It's telling me the weight remaining at this distance. Nobody else in the industry does that. And the reason we do it is an operator pulls up and he wants to lift that weight right there. He has an idea of what it weighs. So he positions the truck, and let's say it's a excavator bucket. An excavator bucket's going to be stamped for what it weighs. What it doesn't have is all the hardware, the teeth, and everything else. It's the casting weight. But he has an idea that bucket should weigh X amount. Positions the truck, goes to pick it up, the crane won't pick it. Why? Well, somebody's welded on it, they've added reinforcement plates, and it weighs a lot more than what he anticipated. The other thing is you're guessing how much you can lift at a certain radius from the truck. So if I position that truck, I put my stabilizers out, I move the crane out here, I can't lift it. Now I have to stow everything and reposition the truck. With this technology, I can walk out here and it'll tell me what I can lift, and I'll be able to know that at this distance, I can lift 4,100 pounds. Well, at this distance, I can pick that weight. Now I can set my truck and I don't have to reposition. If it tells me that I don't have enough capacity to pick up what I want to pick, I can position the truck before I deploy everything, and I don't have to do rework at that point. So it's a huge advantage with rangefinder on our CDT Pros, and this is proprietary to Stellar Industries. Simple to operate. All I do is I hit a function and then pull a trigger, and the crane operates. Very simple to operate. I've got all my functions rotation, extension in and out, winch up and down. One of the features of our cranes is how easily I can unhook it. So that hook has to be stowed when driving down the road. I bring the crane up about 60 degrees and it comes unhooked on its own. I don't have to bring the crane down to unhook that and then put the crane back up to do a lift. I've already got my crane positioned. I can rotate, I can set up for my lift very easily without having to do redundant processes. So then from there, I just position it where I want it to go to do my lift. I can go as fast as I want or as slow as I want, because that trigger is a proportional trigger. By how far I throw it, pull it, is how fast the machine operates. This particular crane is an 8630, which means it lifts 8,000 pounds, 6 feet with 30 feet of reach. 30 feet of reach is really advantageous on large equipment when I'm reaching to a higher position, or I have to reach out. Say I'm a pump servicing company and I need to reach out and pick up a pump and pull it back in. The longer reach allows that. The cranes themselves went through a complete redesign recently, where we went to a multi-sided boom. We're also using high-strength steel to increase structural and increase capacities and not gain weight. So by going to the high-strength steel with the profile we used, we were able to take on average 400 pounds out of the crane. What does that mean? I still lift what I used to lift, but I increased the payload on the truck. Now, some will say that by reducing the weight of equipment, I'm increasing fuel economy. That works if you have a lightweighting philosophy in your fleet, where you're controlling what your operators carry, but most want it for the payload so they can put more parts and tools on. So the aluminum side packs, the aluminum drawer sets, the lighter crane just increases payload of what an operator can carry. But as a total package, it's very simple to operate. A lot of features to it. There's diagnostics in the remote. There's so many features. I can turn the compressor on from here. I can do a litany of things from this controller. And it's impact resistant. Emergency stops in the event that there's a problem. You just pop it on your hip, shuts the crane down, twist it to relink it, and now I'm back active again. So that is a summation of our TMAX 1 package. Our TMAX 1 package can handle up to an 8,600 pound crane. From there we go to a TMAX 2, then our TMAX 3, depending on the capacity of crane you want, the payload you want to carry. TMAX 1s are going to be typically mounted on class 4-5 chassis. TMAX 2s class 6-7, TMAX 3s class 8s. So we have a wide variety of whatever your needs may be to be able to support you in the market. Again, if you have additional questions, please visit stellarindustries.com for more information and to contact your local distributor.